think right now we'll probably have more than 100 billion views in total. And we're in Walmart. That's really the first big moment that really made everyone believe that it could happen to mainstream.
We have 13 key markets coming in as well.
It came from humble beginnings, and I came in with zero connection. Right? What happened is that the first year we end up generating 7 figures revenue. How can we get millions or billions of people to buy into the ecosystem, to have skin in the game?
No matter you're a little Pudgy or you're a big Pudgy, it doesn't matter. You are a part of the huddle. Whatever you think that is important to you is as important to us.
Aaron and Cheryl are the powerhouse duo behind Pudgy Penguins' explosive rise in Asia. Today, they share how they built one of Web3's most passionate communities and where the Penguins of Asia are headed next. Okay, so today's guests are very, very special. They're responsible for the rise of Pudgy Penguins in Asia, CEO and President of Pudgy Penguins Asia, Aaron and Cheryl. Welcome to the podcast today. How are you feeling?
Good. Good morning. My voice is not like the best right now, but
Okay.
I think I can speak like 2 or 3.
All right.
Yeah, I just completed the Monster Week in Malaysia. So much had happened. So happy to really debrief that with you and talk more further.
How many events did you guys go to this week? It was a pretty hectic week, no?
11 events in total for Penguin.
Wow.
Pudgy Penguins.
11 events. So usually when you guys go to a lot of events, right? And you have so many countries you have to fly to, so many events to do. How often do you guys fly out or go to events in a year?
Oh wow. I think in general we fly every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we will come back and then we'll pack our stuff and then do our work, because usually when we go for conferences there's a lot of networking, a lot of friends to do, a lot of business meetings to do. So once we get back, then that's when we sort things out.
Right.
The turnover is about a week. Sometimes it's less than a week, which is 5 to 7 days.
Okay. And it's a lot of countries that you not only go to, but you build teams in different parts of Asia. How many countries are you guys working with actually for Pudgy Penguins Asia?
We have 13 key markets.
Yeah.
Key markets that we're we're having under the holdings, but we're having the 14th. I believe that Russia is coming in as well.
Oh wow, easy. And you have different cultures that you're working with, right? And Pudgy Penguins is all about community. How do you guys maintain that energy, that vibe, and ensure that the leadership in each of the countries still embody the energy of Pudgy Penguins, even if they're all apart?
You want to take this?
Yeah, I think community is the heart of Pudgy Penguins. So I think for the last 6 months, we really took a deliberate approach to groom grassroots leaders. I guess this week what we realized that there are council members from India, Japan, Korea, even Philippines flew over to Malaysia just to meet with everyone of us for the first time, and and I realized that everyone referenced Pudgy Malaysia, right? I think the Malaysian community, it's the first community in the world that do regular meetups, regular events. We do crazy stuff here, and that inspired them. So I think you need to have more success stories or really good case studies like that. So it travels, right? It travels to other countries, other markets, and they will get inspired as well. And not just the community level. I think sponsors, right, and partners, they say, hey, we want to be at your event. We want to partner with you. And beside Malaysia, where else can I do it in Korea? Can I do it in Japan? So all this conversation, we have to talk to them and basically plan with them, and then we look these grassroots leaders from different markets. So it's a lot of coordination, and a lot of showing up and document all this, put it on social. So even though you are not in Malaysia, you get to see that wow, some penguins at the other side of the world are building a community, pumping our bags and stuff like that. So I think these are things that is very culturally relevant in Web3, and I think Pudgy Penguins community is doing a really good job at that.
What are the green flags that you look at the leaders, right? Like when I see these 2 3 things, like, oh yeah, they're perfect for the role of leading this.
I think there's no commercial talks, right? I think a lot of, we don't want people to come up to us and say, hey, let me do this for you. Let me grow the community here in this city. But please, I need this. I need this capital. I need this. Because to be really honest, we want everyone to have the right incentive, right? It's not about capital or, money or financial incentive. I think crypto is about how, especially in the Pudgy Penguins community, we are looking for people who will proliferate the Pudgy Penguins IP even without prompt. So we do have whoever that flew here this week, they actually prepared growth plans. Say, hey, this is how I want to grow Korea. This is how I want to grow China and Japan, right? And I think these are initiatives that we look for because we didn't ask you to do it, but you do it anyways. You buy a ticket, come here to meet Cheryl and I, and those are extremely green flag that are looking for.
Yeah, like a lot of initiative and authenticity, right? With moving
Exactly.
the brand.
A
Yeah.
lot of magic.
Now, recently, a big thing happened. We see Pudgy Penguins in the TS Law Tower. And I also saw a lot of billboards or signs of Pudgy Penguins in Korea.
Yeah.
So these are very big moments. Now, was there a moment much earlier in your Pudgy Penguin journey that when, oh, I saw this, like, wow, Pudgy's gonna be big?
In Asia, specifically,
or in general?
I think for me myself is the digital part that how the GIF works, right? How because I was really surprised when my mom, one day she always sent me or sent the family like good morning,
Yeah.
how our parents, like Asian parents, will always do. So there was one time she sent good morning in Pudgy, right? Pudgy Penguins were everywhere. And my friends were sending like happy birthday. The best part was Chinese New Year. So that was like blow my mind because I would never thought that on this area in Asia that it blew up so big. Everyone that we know, if even like your parents, we have like house party. Everyone's like sending happy Chinese New Year gift to everyone. So I know that this is gonna grow bigger than anyone would expect. So we felt that anyone who controls the memes, who controls the world. So I feel like Pudgy Penguins can blow up like 10 or 100x from here.
Right. With the stickers being sent, it's crazy. Like even my girlfriend who's not in Web3, she sends me reels on Instagram with the animations. That's really crazy how Pudgy Penguins has taken over.
Yeah, I guess a few years ago when we are in Walmart, I think that's the first big moment that really everyone was like, oh wow, this is a crypto native brand and we are in Walmart, through physical toys. So I think that's really the first big moment that really made everyone believe that we could tap into mainstream, right? We could really one day be adopted by the mass. And I think the second moment is like what Cheryl said, is that people underestimated the GIF strategy in the beginning because it compounds, right? I think right now we probably have more than 100 billion views in total of GIF. And that's distribution, right? And I echo what Cheryl said because even this week, every day I did we talk to people who are not in crypto and they're like, what is this, right? And they're like, when I show them about tell them about the whole Pudgy Penguins brand, they're like, wait a minute, took out their phone and checked their story posted yesterday and said, I actually posted that penguin, right? And these are people who are not into crypto. So I think that gonna continue to proliferate because we are living in a digital world. People use people text every single day, and I think that's really why Pudgy Penguins excel because no other crypto projects do distribution like the way we do. I think a lot of people are product focused or token focused, but for us it's distribution focused. Whether it's toys or stickers or GIF or animation, and of course now tokens as well. So I think that's where our team excel.
Right. You mentioned about distribution and the tokens. So now we have PENGU, like very, very successful so far. And I see it going up even more. Now, with PENGU, I just like to, for the audience, like for them to understand the role of PENGU and abstract for the whole ecosystem. Like, how do you see these two different tokens and chains like contributing to the whole Pudgy Penguins ecosystem?
Well, I guess it's I guess it's two different approaches.
Mhm.
I think the origin story of Pengu is that we realized there's a cap, right, in an NFT.
Mhm.
Like when the way we grow the brand and the way people have more desire to own a part of the ecosystem, but they can't afford it because
Mhm.
Our NFT got too expensive, especially at emerging countries. So I think Pengu is a pretty obvious, or token is a pretty obvious solution that
Mhm.
if we do have a token like that, people who at different parts of the world can access to the ecosystem at a much cheaper kind of rate, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's really, again, goes back to distribution, right? I think our team is always thinking, how can we get millions or billions of people to buy into the ecosystem, to have skin in the game. And I think that's really Pengu is top of the funnel.
Mhm.
Obviously, in a perfect world, one day we hope that as we gain more adoption, it will become like a social currency that
Mhm.
people will transact products and services with Pengu. That will be in a perfect world. I think we are still early days, and at these early days, we are also building another monster distribution channel called Abstract.
Right.
I think Abstract embodies Web 2.5.
Mhm.
It is a chain, but it's a chain that feels like an app, and the app is basically innovated on the user journey that
Mhm.
people can with just an email create an account at the portal, discover apps, and play whatever game that they want to play. And it's not just about staking or investing or trading. That I think you can find in the other chain, but Abstract is about having fun on chain, right?
Yeah.
And if that is something that we prove that we can constantly bring daily high amount of daily active user, high amount of money active user, and then I think the puzzle will be completed by itself, right? Because Pudgy Penguins have this top of the funnel, and we do have Abstract to capture value, and we do see a future where all this combined, we're gonna revolutionize crypto consumer.
Right.
And that should be if you want to be positioned as a crypto app store, that would be our ultimate goal,
Mhm.
right? And that's something that bring innovation to the market. So right now we have just pure Web2 app store, but the network doesn't benefit it. Right. So if Abstract wins, if Abstract completed its mission,
Mhm.
We get to see that the more people use Abstract, the more people get benefited from the tokenomics side of it.
You mentioned like Web 2.5. I know both of you have Web 2 backgrounds. So I'll start with Cheryl. Cheryl, you scaled a conglomerate outside of Web 3. Right? How was that transition, right? From building a Web 2 business going into Web 3? Like, what were the major differences and what were the things that you applied to Web 3?
This is a really great question.
Yeah.
Usually people will ask about Pudgy Penguins or Abstract or
Mhm.
more on tokenomics side or on the Web2 side. But yeah, 2.5 is where I excel the most as well. And Aaron more on the technical side.
Mhm.
But like from my previous back experience on my previous past life, I worked for my parents. So we are the property developers.
Mhm.
So during the time, at first we were mining, right?
Yeah.
We have a mining company.
Right.
When I was like younger, I was like with my parents, and we always work. We moved to Australia.
Mhm.
So we moved to Australia. We were on the mining ore, but like my dad, he wasn't like in school before, so he doesn't have like the literacy of like speaking English, but he has a really good business sense.
Right.
So when we were on the board of meetings, I've seen like how things were being thrown out and how all these engineers and specialists like thinking that, hey, you're just a businessman. Who are you sitting on the board? What kind of value you can bring us back to us? So my dad like fought really hard, and he gave me a valuable lesson that I bring it throughout all my life, like till now. He told us that no matter what happens, there's always a way to fix things. So even though I'm not a specialist in iron ore, I've never like studied English before, never been to school before, but we always have to think out the box. What kind of value can I bring? Which during that time, China was just opening up. So that piece of meat, right? That piece of market, no one has tapped it before. So because we are close with the Chinese, we speak Chinese. So that time we have to go back to China and build that relationship and sell the idea that iron ores is very valuable in Australia. However, in iron ore mining industry, you wouldn't know till you invest and deep all the way down to see if there is you can exploit the iron ores. And so you need a lot of convincing. And that's something that my dad is really great as a businessman, that acumen. He brought the biggest deal ever in the whole history of the company back to the company, and the company did really well. So even though it also teach us as children, do not cap your capabilities, right? You might not have been in school before. You might not have learned that particular industry set, but that doesn't stop you from bringing what you shine the most. So that is how I transitioned from Web 2 to Web 3. Found a really sweet spot on 2.5 when Pudgy Penguins just started NFT. Luca took over. He wanted to do selling toys in Walmart. During that time, there wasn't Walmart, of course. There wasn't a Target deal. I believe in him, and I think with my business and operation that I did, especially marketing that I did with my parents in the company and working for events company as well, I brought that what I've learned in a very soft skill. How do I deal with relationship building? How do I build a business contracts? USP, unique selling point. How do I find that little sweet spot that people in between people and people, what speaks to you that I can speak your love language. So most of the people, especially Asians, they don't tell you exactly what they want. So there's a lot of like back and forth, giving a lot of trust. We build on trust, right? So giving a lot of like heartwarming, that you can trust me, that vice versa, this is what we are building. So all of that I've learned, the little nuances that makes a good to great. So I brought it back to Web3 and make it to
Yeah, very special to build trust, especially in this industry. I have a question for Aaron. So we know that you have VCs too outside of Pudgy, right? But also you're in F&B before, right? Is that correct? Like you.
Wow, not exactly. I did invest in some FFB software tech.
Yeah.
I guess I just listen to Cheryl. I think my background is like the opposite of it, right?
Okay.
And I came, I live in KL right now, but I came from Penang. Came from humble beginnings, and I, many years ago, I flew to KL alone, and to study university. And I came in with zero connection, right? Zero connection. I just have my sister living in KL. That's it. So I guess in coming to a new state, living alone and trying to learn the ropes of the city, because Penang is way different than KL, right? There's so many things in KL that Penang didn't have, and so just for the audience, Penang is an island, 4 hours away from Kuala Lumpur. It's a much more quieter place compared to the city in here in KL. But I hustle, right? Even before I graduated, I met a few people in the programming scene, and came out and built a company together, so in software. So I think I started out very as a digital kind of entrepreneur. Even though I didn't study tech, I studied psychology. So what happened is that the first year we end up generating 7 figures revenue, and I'm not sure it was the right decision, but I ended up drop out from university, right, just to focus on the business. So in just less than 2 years, we got acqui-hired by an education group, and then the next journey met with one of the big F&B tycoon in Penang, and that's how he wanted to build something in tech. That's how we got connected, and we end up building a mobile app for the community. So I was this is like more than 10 years ago, right? At the very start, I was already building community apps. I was already building on the principle of community building, more like nation building as well. But that app didn't fly because ultimately we got like 50,000 downloads. It was a failure. But what happened next is pretty interesting, because at the journey of marketing the app, we were building a lot of publishing sites. But this is like sites that publish articles, and at the same time, we also acquire a lot of Facebook pages. That time Facebook was the thing, not even Instagram. So end up we own like 70 to 80% of the top Chinese Facebook pages in Malaysia. So during that journey, indirectly we sort of built an empire in the digital media scene. So we own like English, Chinese, and Malay publishing site, but only the Chinese publishing site actually took off successfully. We are probably the largest digital Chinese media company in Malaysia and have presence in Singapore, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. So I guess, if you combine all these experiences, right, from software to community to digital media, and if you combine that, we, at least I do, I do have what it takes, right, to do something like Pudgy Penguins, because whatever we're building here in Asia is not something that, yes, I have to learn the rope of IP licensing, right, but I didn't have to learn the rope of amplifying or proliferating media. And if you think about it, the Blue Pengu, it's the media, it's the digital celebrity, and that's what we do, right? So yeah, I think this is, just to go back to your question, these are experiences that really helped me, at least personally, to go through the day to day in operating this, and I'm pretty blessed. I'm pretty fortunate that this opportunity give me a challenge beyond Malaysia.
Right.
Because right now, Cheryl and I are working to, knocking doors in the biggest conglomerate, not just in Malaysia, in Japan, in Korea, in Thailand, in Asia, right? And these are opportunities that we wouldn't have if not for the Penguin. So, and also super appreciative for, Luca and the team for putting trust in us, because both Cheryl and I started as community, right? We were holders, we were volunteering, contributing in the community level, and we keep showing up in different places from Asia to the US to Europe, and we keep going on when times are tough, right? I think that built trust. I think that's where the value is. Like the way we build in Asia is about building trust, and I think Luca recognizes that. And here you are. We have this opportunity to do this formally and for the rest, at least for the near term of our life, and I think we are really enjoying it. And we know that one day we can be bigger than some of the top IP companies in the world, because we do have the Web3 layer that they don't have. Right now, PopMart is amazing. Disney is the top dog. Pokemon is always there. But give us another few years, with whatever we're doing with the token, with the Web 2.5 products, like the upcoming Pudgy World or Pudgy Party, I believe that we do have the ingredients to be the best IP company in the world, powered by Web 3. I personally, I believe that with the biggest conviction.
Yeah. I believe that too, man. I believe.
Yes.
Leading Pudgy Asia, it's such a big role, like a lot of responsibility. How was the process of you guys taking that step? Like, was it a conversation with Luca? Was it you guys took the initiative? Like, how did that happen?
I feel it's very natural. It wasn't part of the plan of like taking over or how we're gonna proliferate. We're just being ourselves. We believe. I speak for myself, right? I could see like the magic in this penguin, in this Pudgy Penguins, and with the Web3 layer that Aaron said as well, I've never seen that hyperbolic growth that big. So I could, when we're using that as a data point, I know we're gonna go somewhere, and maybe we can be as big as Disney or even bigger. So we were just being like, as any of holders like yourself as well, like we're very, very passionate about that. But the thing that really makes it different, we could see like how Asia could be a huge contribution of that growth. So we felt like, we have to, instead of like just community, there's so many network and possibilities and opportunities of collaborating, of bringing it to another level, of some of the tokenomics, the Pengu, abstract, the L2 chain, all of that comes into play. Asia has the biggest gaming population, right? Philippines, of course, Indonesia, all of them. Vietnam is growing rapidly. Korea is taking over the world. With all of that, like it's growing faster than any other regions. We felt like this is the market that we have to 100 or 200, 500% like fully focus on that. So, but of course we are a Pudgy Penguins company and community is the number one. So yeah, that's why we have to like really focus on the community while building the possibilities of growing bigger and collaborating on the bigger level.
Yeah, I think I just want to echo that. I think it comes naturally.
Yeah.
Even this is predate before, this is before even me and Cheryl even part of the community, right? Like people like Pudgy Penguins already have a strong holder base, right? In Singapore, in Philippines, in Japan, in Hong Kong, in Thailand, and we know them by name, right? And like this week alone, you have like Swam who flew away from India to here. You have Kucha-san who flew away from Japan, right? You have Jillian flew away from Philippines, right? So I think Cheryl and I, we do take extra care in getting to know them in person by their name, by their story. And we want to build authentic relationship with them. And I think that's how we scale, right? Because you cannot have a top-down approach. You really have to go down to the grassroots level and vibe and understand and really build those authentic relationships so that trust has been built, right? And and yes, me and Cheryl, it's a bit tiring for being us because we have to fly all over. We have to really work 24/7 to be really honest. But these are things that we feel is worth it when all these community councils in different parts of Asia is like that. Cheryl and Aaron, you guys inspire us, right? Like we are actually copying you guys in our city, right? If you're doing one pickleball per week in Malaysia, we're gonna do that in Russia. We're gonna do that in Indonesia as well. I think these are things that this is really the beauty of crypto, right? Because in Web2, you don't have an asset that can align people financially, just like here. Like everyone know that if we do our part, our bags will be taken care of. And this is the elephant in the room that people still care about all this financial incentive, right? And but I think the beauty is that we know that we haven't hit our ceiling. This is still the beginning. That this is really the first year that we have a very coordinated movement of community building in different countries, and and yes, before we have the NFT, now we have the PENGU. Means that our community sort of like get way bigger right now. There's a lot of coordination work to be done, but if we take care of the community will take care of us back.
Yeah.
And we experienced that. People sending us deal flow, people sending us help, people volunteer, right? People give us ideas, and that is really the beauty of Web3 that Cheryl and I truly love. And because of that, this is why we will win. Win over the biggest company in the world, and I think I really truly believe so.
Do you recall any specific moments when you felt that moment or you experienced that moment and you were like, wow, this is what Pudgy Penguins is all about. I feel more fulfilled doing this.
Sense of belonging.
Yeah.
That's it's easy to say like sense of belonging, but really tapping into the inner heart and getting to be you are heard, you are felt, your words matter, that you matter. So we have this tagline, right? Making Pudgy Penguins is where, or even Pengu, right? Is a home, like it's a home for someone. So someone out there might felt like I don't, nobody really care about me or even like think of me. But in Pudgy Penguins, every single person, no matter you're a little pudgy or you're a big pudgy, it doesn't matter. You are part of the huddle. You're part of the family. Whatever you think that is important to you is as important to us. So for that aspect, yes, that's how I felt, like very magically. I couldn't find it elsewhere. Web2 is great. We have but you have your family, I have my family. But when it comes to Web3, everyone's fighting to change the world, right? It's a very revolutionary act that we are in here together, fighting for the same cause. So no matter you're from US or you're from Italy, Europe, Australia, wherever you are, Pudgy Penguins hold us like they want Pudgy Penguins to win, and we win together. So that sense of belonging, it seems to be like, oh yeah, it's easy to say. It's something like, oh, I know how you feel. I'm here for you. But who really actually listen and be with you? So Pudgy Penguins is, at least from Luca and the team, they always echo this part, and I felt it that way.
Yeah, I think it's penguins supporting penguins.
Yeah.
Right. This is really the summary. Penguins supporting penguins. I think many years ago, I always wanted to have this dream to fly to Silicon Valley and live and work there. Right. Reason being because I know, today if I'm a nobody, if I go to Silicon Valley with an idea, I can pitch it on a on a tissue, on a handkerchief, to a CEO of a big tech company, they will back us, right? They might write us our first check. And that kind of culture is very similar to the Pudgy Penguins community right now. Is that, in this community, you know that we have the best community in Web3. What do I mean by that? We call this the Peng Pal Mafia, right? In this community, we have people who have deep influence in different parts of the industry, whether you're a founder, you're a big VC, or a big trader. And if you look at usually how they represent themselves, they're a penguin, right? They rock the Pudgy Penguin PFP. Even during downtimes, they still rock their Pudgy Penguins PFP. So today, if I'm a newcomer in the industry, right, I just want to join Web3, my first join Web3 full time, I want to identify myself with the best and the strongest community, right? Because if, Brian from Layer Zero or Alex from Nansen, is rocking the PFP, I want to be associated with them, right? If, one day if I do come to an event that Pudgy Penguin is hosting, I might bump into them, right? It's just like what Cheryl said, we are building a home where anybody can be somebody here. And even though you're just starting out, or even though you are in the journey of raising money, or you are building a product, getting adoption, you can get all this in the community, right? As long as you are integrated in it. I think the last 2 weeks was a perfect example, right? Last 2 weeks, more than 100, like probably 500 or even close to 1,000 companies in in our industry changed their PFP into Pudgy Penguins. Like that shows people like, wow, this community is not just an NFT community. This community is a community of the best, strongest builders who own multi-billion-dollar companies. And I don't think any NFT collection can beat that.
Yeah.
Right? And I hope that this time we prove to the world that we are not just a cute NFT collection. Yeah, that's great, right? I think that epitomes the culture that we are very wholesome. But one day the penguins will take over the world, and I truly believe so. One day the penguins will take over the world, right? Because we are living in the age where crypto getting more accepted, and if one day a Web 2.5 company being in the Fortune 100, I hope that at least half of them are founded by penguins, and that is the future that we are envisioning.
Just so you know, we also changed the Shards Protocol PFP to
Exactly.
to a penguin.
You're a penguin.
Supporter.
Yes.
But can I share a little bit, sorry, echo
Yeah,
what he's
go ahead.
saying on community? The power of community of Pudgy Penguins is so strong. I know it's strong, and we have built it that way. But there was like few instances that is a very funny story. That I have a lot of friends on Ape, so I started as an Ape before Pudgy. So I have they're a very strong family of mine, and I love them. But it got to a point that they start selling Pudgy NFTs to any other people. So they already got like Pudgies, and they're also Pudgy holders. But there was one time, it was so funny that a guy from Canada flying to Malaysia, and he wants to he wants to understand more about Malaysian market or any of the Asia market, right? So he talked to my Ape friend. Oh, I'm coming to Malaysia. Will I be able to? I don't know anyone. What should I do? Can you guys take care of me, or you can bring me around? It's like, oh no, please don't buy an Ape. I'll let you know. There's this girl or this Aaron, this team in Malaysia that's strong. Go buy a Pudgy and be in their community. They will take care of you. And he was like, so you're not asking me to buy an Ape? You're asking me to buy a Pudgy. I was like, yes, please go. So he immediately bought a Pudgy, a big one, or maybe a few, just to come in to be in our community, to able to feel the love and someone that he can trust. So I don't know about other in Web3 history, but just my personal journey history. Usually we're just like, buy Pudgy, or Apes is like buy Apes. Is that the love, that the support that we can see from Apes, from Doodles, from Azuki, everyone, like they really want to see Pudgy Penguins to win. So I felt like that is something very extraordinary that it really blows my mind.
Actually, to build on that, I think what's different with you guys is usually communities are very exclusive. But with my experience with Pudgy Penguin events, it's very inclusive. I was always invited to events by Jillian, even if I didn't own a Pudgy at that time. And through the events, like I just felt the community, the sense of community, and I'd always come back. And eventually that converted me into becoming a holder. And yeah, I just wanted to say it's really, really different what you guys are doing. It's super strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more questions. So, Aaron, you tweeted last year that bull market building is different. What is what feels different about this impending bull market for you in the context of Pudgy Asia?
Well, I think the pace is much faster, right? And whatever you plan on the whiteboard, be prepared to activate that much sooner than you think. I think this recent weeks is the perfect example. Is a perfect example. The chart is looking great, right? It's climbing at a faster rate than we much anticipated, and then whatever that we want to do, we probably have to accelerate the timeline. I think building in crypto is all about vibes, right? Like about market sentiment, right? And then you can launch something in the bear market and have no traction, and that is like that's super real, right? You can announce major partnership when your price token on your NFT floor is like tanking, and you announce a big partnership. You think that would save it, but it won't, right? So unfortunately, we are building a crypto company. We are at the mercy of the macro, and bull market is where you really want to gain traction, right? So I think that's really the difference. Um, um, everything need to be fast, everything need to be major, everything need to and to be honest, like what Cheryl always say, if it's not on Twitter, it didn't happen, right? Distribution. No, but again, that is the DNA of distribution, right? And if everyone is doing Twitter, we shouldn't just do Twitter. Right? That's what Lucas started, right? When he bought over Pudgy Penguins, it's like no one has like an Instagram strategy. No one have a TikTok strategy. No one have a sticker or GIF strategy, right? All they do is just launch collection and get the initial mint revenue, and that's it, right? So and that DNA carries forward today as well. In the bull market, we have to keep stacking the momentum by getting more distribution partners, right? Whether it's a crypto company or social media channels or getting ETF, applying for ETF and stuff like that. All these things are possible, right? That I hope that we are pioneering that kind of narrative to other companies to follow suit as well. Because if everyone do this is where crypto has a chance to become mainstream.
Mhm. Now, I know the vision with Pudgy Penguins is to be the Disney of Web3. How about like fast forward to the end of 2025? Like, what's the craziest or most gratifying thing you'd like to achieve by the end of this year?
Cheryl,
Well,
you start first.
we kind of, because after the Pengu launch, right, we dropped so much. We felt like we have to work extra hard, right, to bring it back. In the Web3 history, bring it back all the way to all-time high. I don't think like any coin company has done at this magnitude before. So for me, it's like bring back to trying to like push it to the limit of like breaking the all-time high. Taking over Pepe, or like taking over like once it was such a huge revolutionary route that it breaks all the barriers. I felt like we kind of achieved it this week. I can like meet everyone that hey, money at least is back. We made a lot of people, not like we particularly, but like Pudgy Penguins, like overall made it, delivered it, made everyone money, whether it's in Philippines or whether it's in all the way from US, everyone made money. So Luca Pudgy team, they always make sure that the community wins. We make sure that people make money. If it doesn't, he will never stop. He won't say like, oh, I'm sorry, it's just the market. It's just this and that. He was like, okay, I know the market was bad. Trump coin came out, it swiped it, wash out everything, suck out all the liquidity out. But Pudgy never like just say that, okay, time's up. Okay, let's do just abstract or what can I do? But never. So that one I felt like it really makes a huge difference, and we at least made that happen in Asia side.
Yeah, I think the Penguins community are really resilient. There's so many. I mean, that we've been through a lot of bad times, a lot of FUD, but people still believe. The Penguins still believe. I guess the last 3 years, we make the community feel super proud that the penguin that you're rocking in your PFP are everywhere, right? We didn't really think much about revenue generation for the first 3 years. It's about building the top of the funnel. How can we cast the widest net, right? How can we be in as many touch points as possible so that you have a story to tell to your friends? You can evangelize to your friends and family that, you know, this penguin is not in this crypto bubble, right? This penguin is at your social media feed. This penguin is in your IOL, you know, physical location, so that, you know, you can break the ice, right, in telling crypto to people. I think we did that well. We probably argue the best job ever in crypto companies history. I think back to your question, like what will be the goal for end of this year, or end of 2025? I would say that now we have something to prove, something else. Now we have to prove that all these Web 2.5 products, and I would say that includes abstract, that includes like Pudgy World, that includes like mobile games like Pudgy Party. All these products is our first really formal push to show the world that we can generate revenue from retail through a Web3 rails, through a Web3 infrastructure. I think that, you know, we'll see, right? I think talk to us again, you know, 1 year later and see how do we do. But I think that is the next chapter, is that how can we really get all the traffic from the top of the funnel and funnel it to revenue generating products, whether it's in Web3 or Web2 or even Web 2.5 format, and then how much, you know, profit do we make, and how can we reinvest that to complete the flywheel. I think that is the journey that we're entering, and I hope by end of this year we could see some sort of proof of concept.
All right. I guess last thing to all those watching, whether part of the community or not, can you please share any alpha, exciting things, or just a last message to all those watching? Over here.
Cheryl.
Alpha.
Alpha, or just a special message? Up to you.
Special message is really believe, don't let anyone to bring down your shine. Pudgy Penguins was built in flood, right? Built in bear. No one believed in us. I worked for Luca 2 years under him. So we went through the flood. We went through. Everyone just think that you're just a little tiny cute penguins. There's sometimes like we don't even get a speaking slot. When we knock the door, everyone closed the door at the time, right? Selling the idea, selling the dream of we could do it and able to deliver it. It just take one person or one chance to prove us that we're able to do it. But having that one person to really believe in us is not easy at all. 0 to 1 is really hard, but once you have that, you know, things will come. But 0 to 1, really do not let anyone to dim your light and dim your shine. If you believe in that, have a full conviction, go for it. Because what the gut feeling inside you got to trust it. So I felt there's too much noise around, but really stay focused and see that the magic that you believe in really go all out. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, I guess that if you are watching this, you are most likely 100% in crypto. I would say this, right? And when Bitcoin first started, we need everyone to be a Bitcoiner, because Bitcoin solved the money problem, right? Bitcoin solved, you know, inflation problem. And we're seeing that in action as of now. There's like 70, 80 Bitcoin treasury company popping out around the world, and everyone is rallying on that, right? Including people who didn't believe in Bitcoin, who are anti-Bitcoin maxi. Now everyone wants Bitcoin to win. And I hope that whoever listening, you know, the penguins have to win, right? Because penguin is a perfect case study that we can tap into retail, into consumer. And that is super important, right? Because if one day you want your friends and family, your mother, your uncle, your aunties, your grandmother to accept crypto, to understand what you do, this is our best chance, right? This is our best chance to show the world that what we do and it's not always technical, it's not always financialized. And you know, we want everyone to win, right? And this is the industry where if you participate, you will win, right? It's not like in traditional world you participate, only a few win. So I think this is a great story to tell, and it doesn't, the burden of that shouldn't be just at the shoulder of the holders. It should be at the shoulder of everyone in the industry. If you believe in crypto, you should believe in Pudgy Penguins' mission. And our mission is to really bring adoption to the world, right? Billions will huddle. That really is the tagline that we are walking towards, and we need people like you to support in this journey and let us know, right? How can we collaborate? How can we push this further? Because if we win, the whole industry win, and if the whole industry win, I think the world will win.
Thank you, guys. That was such a great message from both of you. Cheryl, Aaron, thank you so much for coming today. And yeah, looking forward to what you guys are going to be building for the rest of the year. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.